Number one, make sure that you have everyone on your team on the call right now. Reach out to them via text for me. Make a quick call. Make sure everyone, especially if they're brand new, are on the call with all your leaders today. You guys, I have the honor and the privilege of introducing the top leaders of the company. I'm going to pass it over to the gentleman who is in charge of basically catapulting and pioneering our amazing team here. And make sure that you have a pen ahead of you so that you can write down everything that we're going to talk about here in the next few minutes. I'm going to pass it over to the number one senior vice president, Mr. Michael Mazer.
Well, Charlene, fired up to be on the call. Hello, Rockstars. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Guys, I'm out of my mind excited. I'm somewhere between Fort Lauderdale and on my way to the Keys. So just living the dream. What's great about this business, you can literally do it anywhere. And, guys, just want to say congratulations getting yourselves on the call. Take a last minute. I still see people coming in. You want to throw them a text. We're going to have a very short but impactful call. You're going to hear from not only myself, you're going to hear from Platinum Regional Vice President number 2 in all of ACN, Mr. Jeff Street. He's going to be on the call. And then you're going to hear from Regional Vice President number 1 in the company, Mr. Harsh Patel. So it's going to be a short but very, very impactful call because, guys, we're having a record-breaking month. Want to say congratulations to everybody. We're ahead this month for team trainer, IBO production, and customers. I mean, we have some of the top reps in all of ACN that are just running right now in momentum, having fun, having excitement, and not only leading this team, but leading the company. And the first group of people that I'd like to recognize are individuals that are taking advantage of the greatest tool in ACN. And you might say, well, what's the greatest tool? Our national convention. Getting people to the national convention, let the best people in the company train them. It gives belief. We have the co-founders there, the gentlemen that put this business together 30 years ago that are going to be pouring into each and every one of us. And all this we got to do is get there. And here's what we found. Over 21 years of building this business, 17 years, we've been the number 1 team in ACN. And it's very simple. The person that gets the most people to the national convention wins. See, look, you can't do this alone. This is a team sport. And the people that are using that tool effectively are going to have
Well, guys, I know Senior Vice President Mike Mazer is out at sea, as you can see, and I think that he might have froze up on the Zoom call. So we'll see if Mike's internet connection comes back. But just love having fearless leaders and Senior Vice Presidents, Patrick and Mike Mazer, always leading from the front. These guys are the number 1 Senior Vice Presidents globally in the company. And you can see Mike's commitment to this team. He's literally on a yacht, living the dream by most people's standards, but he did not want to miss this call. And he was like, listen, drive the boat by the shore so my internet connection is still good. But that's his commitment level to this team. But I know one of the things that Mike really wanted to start the call off was just recognizing the top leaders right now for the Rockstar organization for the month of May. And so I'm going to, read off some incredible individuals that right now are leading the charge for the Rockstar team, starting off with the top regional coordinators in all of ACN and in the Rockstar team. Number 42 is Janelle Sannon. Number 42 is Michael Kennedy. Number 36, Raphael Norat. Number 36, Will Holden. Number 30, Sajjad Ahmad. And then, we've got all these individuals tied: Mohammed Villa, Sharon Baskin, Stacy Thomas, Fatima Mohammed, Mike Higgins, Janelle and Mike Friedrich, O'Neill Catnell, Li Yang Lee, and Bill Hoffman, all in a big tie just outside of the top 10 for the entire Rockstar organization. Here's the top 10 regional coordinators in the entire Rockstar organization. Number 10, out of New York, Money May. Number 9, Fred Sullivan. Number 8, Terry Trexler. Number 7, Tammy Baker. Number 6, Vivian Clover. Number 5, Crystal Wise. Number 4, Rosa Barrera. Number 3, Virginia Catran. Number 2, Sandra Wright. And number 1 in the Rockstar team, and number 1 in globally in all of ASEAN. You're going to be hearing a great tip from her today, and that's Nellie Nakui. Congratulations. Nellie also just became a regional director last week. And speaking of regional directors, here's the top regional directors in the entire Rockstar organization, and also in ASEAN, tied for number 24 in all of ASEAN, MD Raman and also Nellie Nakui. Tied or number 18, Michael Eric. And here's the top 10 rock stars. Number 10, Patrick Miller. He's also number 17 in all of ASEAN. Number 9, Lauren Kirschblum. You're going to be hearing from her today. Number 16 in ASEAN. Number 8, Candace Gunderson. She's number 15 in all of ASEAN. Number 7, Derek Wilson. He's number 14 in all of ASEAN. Number 6 is Steve Walsh, number 11 in ASEAN. Number 5, Viviana Diaz. She's number 9 in ASEAN. Number 4, Monica Bernardino, number 8 in ASEAN. Number 3, Joe and Shannon Navarro. These guys are also number 4 in all of ASEAN. Number 2 is Paul Mercier. He's number 3 in all of ASEAN. And number 1 in all of ASEAN is Matt Middlestat. Congratulations, Matt. And you guys can see how the rock stars are literally dominating the company production chart. How many of us are proud to be part of the number 1 team globally in all of ASEAN? And I'm going to share with you in a minute the biggest secret of how this team has become number 1 and stayed number 1 for 15 years in a row. But here's the top regional vice presidents. Number 19 in all of ASEAN, Michael Eric. Number 19 in all of ASEAN, MD Raman. Number 16 in all of ASEAN and number 8 on the Rockstar team, Alejandra Kalman. Number 14 in ASEAN and number 7 on the Rockstar team, Jeff Ringtone. Number 12 in all of ASEAN and number 6 in the Rockstar team, Caesar and Sonia Buffoni. Number 6 in ASEAN and number 5 on the Rockstar team, Monica Bernardino. Number 5 in ASEAN and number 4 in the Rockstar team, Patrick and Mike Mazer. Number 4 in ASEAN and number 3 in the Rockstar team, Michael and Patrick Mazer on their second position. Number 2 in ASEAN and number 2 on the Rockstar team is mine and my wife's organization. A big thank you to our team. And number 1 in all of ASEAN globally for the month of May is Harsh Patel. You're going to hear from him at the end. Big congratulations to Harsh Patel and all of HPU, the Sharks. These guys are representing this team in a big, big way this month. Now, guys, speaking of this month, here we are in the month of May. There's only a handful of days. There's less than 1 week left in the month of May. And ASEAN had some incredible promotions that they did for this month. They're going to be going off the table the last day of this month. So this is really important information that we wanted to make sure that we can communicate with each and every one of you guys today. Take notes on this and make sure you get this information to the rest of your organization, because we don't want anybody at all to miss out on some of the incredible promotions that ASEAN did here to kick off the summer here in the month of May. First thing is, the company did an amazing bonus for Zoom Energy. How many of you have been signing up gas and electricity customers this month and have people in your team signing up gas and electricity customers? For every 5 Zoom Energy customers that somebody put in for the month of May, there's an additional $200 bonus on top of all the ASEAN normal bonuses. We have folks that have made thousands and thousands of dollars of additional money this month because of these Zoom Energy bonuses. Again, for every 5, it's an additional $200 bonus, and there's no limit to it. But you have to have all those customers in by 4:59 East Coast time on the last day of May in order for those to count towards that special Zoom Energy bonus. So somebody put in the chat, Zoom Energy, 4:59 p.m. East Coast time on the last day of the month. Now, also, speaking of the last day of the month, how many of us are excited about Impact Health Sharing? Man, Impact Health Sharing, we are disrupting a $4.4 trillion broken industry. And if you want somebody to have coverage for Impact Health Sharing starting on July 1st, they have to be enrolled as an Impact member by 6:59 East Coast time on the last day of the month, which is next Wednesday, May 31st. So the cutoff for people to have a July 1st coverage date for Impact is Wednesday, May 31st at 6:59 p.m. East Coast time. They have to be enrolled as an Impact member. Also, ACN has been doing an incredible bonus that will now be coming to an end to help people get off to an incredible fast start. This team has delivered in such a big way, helping so many people hit these fast start bonuses, but we do not know that this is going to still be available on June 1st. So anybody that's been thinking about becoming an IBO, make sure you have a conversation with them and make sure they enroll as an IBO before 11:59 East Coast time on Wednesday, May 31st. As long as they do, they have 30 days to get the fast start bonus, where if they become an executive team leader with 30 customer points, at least 15 in their downline, there's an additional $500 bonus for somebody doing that in their first 30 days. But just want to make sure everybody heard me. They have to be enrolled as an ACN IBO by the end of the night on May 31st, 11:59 p.m. So guys, those are the three really important time-sensitive dates. Again, Zoom Energy bonus going off the table, 4:59 p.m. East Coast time, May 31st. Impact Health Sharing, enroll to have July 1st effective date, 6:59 p.m. East Coast time, May 31st. And becoming a new IBO and having 30 full days to get that fast start bonus. They just need to be in the system with the paid IBO number by 11:59 East Coast time, May 31st. So hopefully everybody caught that, but I'm going to shift gears and I want to talk to you about what's made this organization the #1 organization worldwide for 15 years in a row and continues to keep us #1. How many of you want to know the biggest secret that we've learned as a Rockstar team? You know, this is something that I believe is the biggest tool that you can utilize and leverage if you want to build a massive organization in this industry of direct sales or network marketing. And how many of us would agree with the statement, our success will always have a direct correlation to our level of belief and our level of knowledge in anything that we do? You know, who would agree with that? And how many of us have ever heard of immersion? When you immerse yourself in something. And see, I want to share with you something that can help you put yourself 6 months ahead of the average person in ACN. How many of you are like me and you're informational people? You want to know everything about everything. You want to know the details. You want to know about all the services. You really want to understand the compensation plan fully. How many of you are like me and you want to really know and understand those things? Man, if that's you, you want to put in your calendar June 23rd and June 24th in Baltimore, Maryland. This is our national convention. This is our annual event where we're going to have every one of our vendors from all over the country coming in. I'm talking about Vivint Smart Home. I'm talking about the executives from ID Seal, the executives from Impact Health Sharing, the Zoom Energy team, literally every vendor, TrueV Travel, DirecTV, Spectrum, every one of our vendors will be at this event with the booth. And you can literally put yourself 6 months ahead from a knowledge standpoint. We're going to have some of the top trainers globally in all of ACN. Matter of fact, my wife and I just found out, we're real excited. We're going to be training on how to leverage social media to build your ACN business at the convention. And wait till you see all of the different topics that they're going to be training on. This is 2 days of complete immersion. And how many of you just like to have a great time? Man, if you like to have a great time, like who'd agree, we're all a product of our environment, right? The people you hang around with is who you become. Iron sharpens iron, right? And if you want to be somewhere and just have an incredible experience of personal growth, self-development, get poured into for 2 days straight and be involved, be around positive people, man, bring your dancing shoes. This is literally my favorite weekend of the entire year is our national convention. Also, how many of you like just helping other people? Man, when you see people get promoted to regional vice president and senior vice president, and you hear them give thanks to the person that thought highly enough of them to pick up the phone, ask them if they looked at other ways of making money, and invited them to a meeting, and they're in tears crying as they're talking about the person that had the courage, the vision, and belief to invite them to an opportunity, and now they're getting celebrated as a regional vice president or a senior vice president where they've changed their life. At that moment, you start to really understand how much of an effect that you can have on other people. But how many of you want to hear from the founders? Know where this company is going, know what the vision is. In the Bible, it says, without vision, the people perish. We have the owners of our company that are going to be speaking at this event, making some of the biggest announcements in the history of the company. And guys, I'm telling you, this event will put the average person 6 months ahead of anybody else. And it's $159 while tickets last for people to be able to come out to an event like this. I know there's people that are on this Zoom that have spent thousands of dollars going to real estate events and different educational seminars in your industry. This event is the biggest game changer that we have in ACN. And there's one piece, which is getting yourself there, but that's not really the secret. That's important. That's a needed thing. The secret is bringing other people with you. See, as soon as you decide I'm going, you can make that mental shift of who can I bring with me? And what I found is the team that has the most amount of people that come to this event have the people that are educated, have the people that are knowledgeable, have the people that have the confidence, the right mindset, connected with people all over the world in ACN. And I just want to have a few people share that recently got started with us, went to their first event, and now are having massive success because one, they got there, but two, they brought people with them. And I want to have them share their story. The first individual, you heard her name, is a top regional director, and that's Lauren Kirschblum, out of the Texas marketplace. Lauren, would love to have you share what your first ACN National Convention did for you.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, when Jeff says that you can put yourself 6 months ahead by going to the event, he's not lying. That is the absolute truth. Big decisions happen at big events. And I've been in this industry for almost 10 years. So I have 10 years experience. And whether it was with this company or a different company, I've never missed an event in all of 10 years. I've been with ACN now for almost 6 months, and I've been to 2 events. And my decision moment happened at my very first event, a decision moment, like, when you get married and you officially say, I do, and you marry the process, right? You make that commitment. That's what happened to me at my very first event. I was a regional coordinator going into an event earlier this year. And I remember it like it was yesterday, where I just had that aha moment, like, this is where I need to be. I have full belief right now. And I know exactly, I'm trained up. I have all the tools that I need to build this to success. And so I made a commitment to be a regional director before the very end of the next month. And so I did that, accomplished it on my way to regional vice president. But you guys get this, I was already inspired and motivated, right, by just all the Zooms that we've been on and whatnot. But I still needed belief. Okay. I had belief in the industry because I built this before. But I didn't have full belief in ACN, if I was being honest with you. And I also needed to believe in myself that I could do this, because my previous business was not in essential services. It was in health and wellness and fitness. And so who would agree that without belief, you really cannot accomplish anything to your full capacity? You may have some success, but you need belief in all of those areas. And so had I not gone to that event, I literally would have robbed myself and my whole team and team to come from giving ACN a fair shot. And so I really believe you cannot say that you've tried ACN until you go to an event. And I actually believe that you haven't even gotten started in ACN until you get to an event and actually experience it in person. So if you've gone to one before, then just like Jeff said, make it a goal, bring people with you. And even if you've gone to one before and you're like, no one's coming, then I want you to still get in the room, because that means that event is for you. And so all it takes, you guys, is that one moment to change everything, just like it did for me. And I'm telling you, I would not be where I'm at right now had I not gone to that event. And so you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your future to get yourself in the room. So I will see y'all in Baltimore.
Lauren, can't wait to see you in Baltimore. I love what you said. Big decisions are made at big events. So Lauren went to our event. We do our national convention a couple times a year. We did the first one in Fort Worth, I believe is in March. And now we're doing this one in Baltimore. And this is our biggest event in the year. But in the Fort Worth event, when Lauren went, she was a regional coordinator. She made a goal to go regional director in 30 days later. She had to more than double the size of her business in that next 30 days to hit that goal. And man, she did it. And she did it because that belief and confidence. ACN National Conventions is really where this business goes from your head to your heart. And I love what Lauren talked about. You're really not even in the business. You have no idea what you're really a part of until you get yourself to one of these events. And this next individual, wait till you hear her story. Right now, she's the #1 regional coordinator globally in ACN. She hit regional director a couple of days ago. She's already in the top 25 in all of North America as a regional director. And wait till you hear how the event propelled her and her team to where she is right now. Nellie Nakui, thanks so much for being on the call.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful to be here. Grateful for, the Philly event. I was there. And I cannot tell you, I don't believe in coincidences. I've been in healthcare for over 14 years. When I saw Impact, I said, it's about time. Truly excited for the work that we're doing here. But I went into surgery the night before Philly. And like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. And I got myself on a plane on a red eye to show up because it's bigger than us. Right? I called my surgeon. She said, it's okay. It's bigger than us. And getting yourself in the room. I love what Lauren said, what Jeff said, like getting yourself in the room, making a difference, but empowering other people. We're here. I think Jeff said it earlier. Who likes to help people? I love to help people. Bring your team with you. I was RC and I would have never made it to where I am today if I didn't make myself go to Philly. I'm, as Jeff mentioned, I made regional director. I've put in over 83 independent business owners. Since I went to Philly, my goal is 150 by the end of the month for my team. I'm excited to see everybody in Baltimore because it truly, get yourself out of the way. There's solutions. I mean, I had surgery the night before and I made it to Philly and it made a difference. It changes your business. You're changing lives. You're changing other people's lives, empowering other people's lives. And it completely changed mine. And I'm so excited to to have my team in Baltimore and the journey that's ahead after that. Get yourself in the room. I took excuses all off the table for everyone. It was not easy, but I got myself there and I see what it's done for me and the people around me. I'm not here to chase positions. I'm here to chase leaders and to truly look for leaders and empowering them and and us all changing lives together. So I'm so excited to see everybody in Baltimore. And I appreciate you allowing me to share.
Well, Nellie, I appreciate you. Stay unmuted here for a second. And guys, the Philadelphia event that Nellie talked about, that's not even our national convention. That was our regional event. She was so committed because she had people in her team that was being like, she had surgery the day before. She's like, I'm not going to miss this. And she showed up. And her team is now blowing up. 80 plus business partners have joined her team since that event. And Nellie, how many people does your team plan on bringing with you guys to Baltimore at the event for our big national convention?
I'm putting it out there, at least hopefully around 80 people. I'm hoping to be there. 25 have said yes so far. So get 4 legs, get there. Get everyone on your team, all 4 legs. Let's make a difference. Let's share impact. Let's share what we have here with our communities. And I'm convinced that we will definitely, the journey after, I'm excited to talk after Baltimore when everybody's there about all the leadership and what we've created.
Well, so excited for you, Nellie. She's bringing 80 people with her to Baltimore, 25 already committed. And she's like, I am on a crusade to bring people to a place that can go and make a major difference for their family. And I just love your story. We've got a couple on the call right now. They're #1 in the company. for the amount of people that they're bringing to the Baltimore event. So you can tell that they're incredibly committed, not just for themselves, but they know the power of what these events will do for other people. They've had a lot of success in our industry. They were #1 for the first quarter this year in the company as regional directors. And I know they've got amazing perspective on the power of not just going to the events, but on the power of bringing people in their team to these events. And that's Sheena and Joe Navarro.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. We're so excited to get to share with you all today. Grateful to be a part of this team. And, like Lauren, we've been in this industry for 12 years now, and there really is power in the large events and what that belief can do. And I remember sitting at my first large event in this industry 12 years ago, and we were on government assistance applying for food stamps and really had no idea really of what this industry could do for us. But what happened was I had a little spark of hope. And at the event, I was surrounded by people that poured gasoline, that turned that hope and that spark into a flame. And that's really what trajected our family into, massive change and financial gain. And that's really what I want to share with you before I pass it over to Joe is, there's really nowhere else in the world that you can go and get around a group of like-minded people that are going to speak life over your dreams that God has put in your heart. The world and our culture will speak death, and they'll try to take that and diminish it. But you need to get around people that are going to bring that out. They're going to speak life into those dreams and that hope that you have for your family. And I truly believe that no one can see the power of this business until they get to a large event and are surrounded by those people. And so I'll let Joe kind of share from here.
Yes, just want to speak logically to you to help you start thinking about a couple things. Number one, you want to be where the leaders are. No leader, no SVP starts and stops. They didn't get to SVP by going to an event. If this works out for the next one, I'll be there. No, it's a commitment. It's such a commitment to our family. If my daughter's birthday, if our wedding anniversary, I don't care what it is on that day, it's not even a thought for us. You know why? Because we can just schedule it a week later. I can schedule my daughter's birthday. I can celebrate my anniversary. We can do whatever we need to do a week later because if you want to make leadership type money, you have to be a leader. No one's going to follow you if you don't even have enough commitment and enough clarity, because clarity is currency in the marketplace. And another mistake I see people doing is shiny object. They see this and they want to jump from here to here. Guys, listen, multiple streams of income is important. We have multiple streams of income, but when you're trying to chase multiple things and you're going here, then you're going there, no one's going to follow you. And so you've got to be committed. You've got to, beginners are many, finishers are few. And guys, this takes time. There's some patience that you're going to have. But if you shrink back, champions never shrink back from their destiny. You can't shrink back. So the last thing I'll say is this. Greg Provenzano, he spoke to us in Mexico and he said, there is so much value in having no other options. There is so much value in going all in. He said ACN wouldn't be here for the four co-founders today if something popped up and we chased other things. So I'm telling you, if you make a commitment, see it through, be there for your team. You can't inspire anyone else to go unless you first get inspired and you're committed. And the last thing I'll say is this. If you want momentum, you have to show up. We had outside of our, Lauren's team and then Bob Ferngren's team, we were looking to create some momentum. And I went to the last event. Here's a quick tip. Take some videos of people. I met Rafael Nored. Hey, can you give me your quick testimony? A realtor, Carrie Dahl, a teacher, a former construction owner. And I took videos and I sent them to people. I sent them to all kinds of people that sent it to a man named Glenn Biaggi. Glenn has made $3,000 in 3 weeks. He has over 100 customer points, 9 people on his team, because he saw me at the event fired up and he was able to see other people in his industry winning. So I'm telling you, go there, meet other people, collect stories and send them out. Let's go.
Well, how many of us can just feel Joe and Sheena's passion, their excitement, they're all in, like they're committed. They say commitment is doing the thing you said you're going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. But what I do love is also getting back into those environments where we can have that mood to be able to set those next goals, to stretch our own vision, what's possible for us. And I know that ECN is going to create an environment like none other in Baltimore, Maryland. We also have a senior vice president on the call. Wait till you hear his story of where he was when he first got started and where he is today. And he is one of the most amazing stories of being a product of these ACN events. And that's Mr. MD Rahman out of Houston, Texas.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. I know everybody, maybe they are right now struggling to understand my accent. I'm an immigrant and I never done any kind of business. In my 14th generation done, I didn't understand English. I didn't understand culture, but still I became a regional vice president in 12 months and senior vice president in 40 years, only for that event. A lot of people know my story. I don't know, you know my story. When I start, I was almost quit because I signed up without presentation. Okay, I didn't know that. But when people say to me no, including my wife, I decided to cancel. I canceled my home phone. I canceled everything. And I decided not to do the business. But my sponsor, the person who introduced me, he just begging me. He said, that would be the last request to you to come to the event. Guys, September 2012, 29th of September, I went to Charlotte and I saw the 20,000 people there. Everybody say yes. And I said, why not me? I'm the only idiot to know. So I started the business that day. And I still remember I went to the next event with 17 people because everybody understand it's hard for me to present or explain, but it's easy for me to invite. I was just invite and promote people in the event because I know if they go to the event, they will see the bigger picture. So I asked Mike Mazer, I still remember, he said, if you want to invest this business, just invest in event. And I did that. I took people, 17 people, I took the next event, and I still have a picture. February 2013. Look at this picture. My wife had a surgery in Wednesday, and our event was Friday. And doctor said she need bed rest, complete rest in 7 days. She cannot move. I said, great, I can move. And she was in a stay when I leave. The reason I say a lot of people bring excuse in here. If you bring excuse, it's going to make longer. It could be you're going to be disappear. The reason I say my twins past a second birthday, I was in Australia. A lot of people say, MD, you twins birthday, you are in here. I said, my kids never going to be remembered. I was not their second birthday. But if I give them when they're 18, 2 Ferrari key, they will remember until die. That was the reason I went there. Please don't bring excuse. And the first event, I took 17 people and I changed my fee. And the second event, I took almost 45 to 50 people and I was the regional director. And the third event, which is my fourth event, I became a regional vice president with 150 people. And trust me, there is no other way I can achieve the senior vice president position if I am not a promoter. Remember, I'm not a good recruiter, but I am a good promoter. Because when I promote people, system recruit. That's the way I became a senior vice president. My humble request to you, if anybody come to me right now, even though before event, if someone wants to sign up, but they're struggling to sign up because of money, I said, don't sign up, go with me. Don't sign up, go with me in the event. Because when they go to the event, if they see the bigger picture, they will arrange the money anyway. That's the way I do it. So my humble request, first of all, already I know that they did that great testimonial. If your first event, trust us. But if your second event, trust yourself to take more people with you. Don't make mistake again. So thank you so much, Jeff. I want to give it back to you.
Well, MD, I appreciate you. Keep yourself unmuted for a minute, MD. I just wanted to make sure everybody caught that literally MD had mentally quit ACN, actually told his sponsor this wasn't for him. His sponsor said, listen, you need to come with me to the event and really see what this is all about. And if you still want to quit, then you can quit, but at least you'll really understand what you're a part of. Now imagine the strength that that individual had to have that conversation for his friend MD. He took a stand for MD. MD had mentally quit ACN, showed up at the convention, was absolutely blown away, said, why not me? Then he came to his next convention with 17 people. Then he brought 45 people the next one. Then he brought 150 people to his fourth event and hit regional vice president in 1 year's time in this company. A former cab and taxi driver from New York City, originally from Bangladesh, who, as he mentioned to me, he learned English through ACN, hit regional vice president in 1 year's time. He said, I wasn't a good recruiter. I just got passionate at getting people to a place where they could become great. He got really great at bringing people to the event. And MD, a handful of years later, how many customers do you have in your team today?
Right now, over 65,000.
Over 65,000 customers into his team, and he had quit ACN mentally prior to going to that first event. Guys, my first event 17 and a half years ago, I borrowed money from my mom for an airplane ticket, and I slept on a cot in somebody else's room. Who would agree? I needed to go to the event. Who would agree? Most people like, you don't have money for an airplane ticket, you shouldn't go. For me, I was like, I'm 26 years old living in America and I don't have money for an airplane ticket, I have to go. I don't have money for a hotel room, I have to go. You know, and it's all about mindset, but that's where I got that mindset was from these events. My only regret from my first event was I didn't bring other people with me. So guys, we have just under 30 days, not just to get yourself there, but who can you bring with you? And that's the secret I was talking about at the beginning. See, how many of you would like to have MD Rahman in your team? How many of you would like to have Nelly in your team, Lauren in your team, Joe and Shannon Navarro? All of these individuals, they weren't superstars in ACN until they got to one of those events. But the events gave them belief, the confidence, and the knowledge that they needed to have to take this business all the way. And I know there's people in your team, and maybe people that aren't even in your team yet, that if you can have them with us in Baltimore, they're going to be the next big success stories in all of ACN. And to share a few last words with you guys today, we've prepared to have the #1 regional vice president in all of ACN, Mr. Harsh Patel, on the line to close off this call. Harsh, we appreciate you being on the call, and we'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jeff Street. How many of you guys got a lot out of Mr. Jeff Street about talking about how the National changed his business from, I call it 26 to now retired and be able to do what he wants when he wants. And it was a great time spending time with you and your wife in Mexico last week, Jeff, with just incredible leaders. And how many of you guys he could just hear his passion for getting people. So can we show our appreciation for Mr. Jeff Street for taking time out today and being on the call and all the other testimonials that I got to share? How many of you guys can agree there's a secret that they're pretty much telling you? And when people ask, how do you make it? How do you make it? How do you get to where you got to? What do you do? We're telling you how we got to where we got to. You just got to listen. Does that make sense? Like, we're literally telling you what got Jeff Street to regional vice president platinum. We're literally telling you how MD Rahman went senior vice president in 4 years. We're literally telling you how Joe Navarro is already qualified, not only went to Mexico this way, but he's already qualified for next year's trip. Does that make sense? Meaning he already put in 2,500 customers for next year because he kept going to events. Like, they're literally telling you how they're having success. How many of you guys like that? Now, is it fair to say it's our job to follow? I call it rob and duplicate. Yes or no? Like, it's our job to rob and duplicate exactly what they're saying. You heard a lot of people talk about how they did not give excuses. Now, is it fair to say the reason they're having success is because they're not giving excuses? Yes or no? Like, are you guys surprised right now why Nelly's #1 regional coordinator, why she broke regional director and has over 80 people? Like, is anybody surprised at that? I'm not, because if somebody had their appendix removed, think about this, the day before, and was able to come the next day, let me ask you a question. Are you guys surprised at why she's successful? No, there's no shock there. There's no shock to why things are happening the way they're happening. See, there's no shock in success because if you do the work, yes or no? There's no shock. Guys, here's one thing my mentor told me. He goes, Harsh, he goes, you got to put the work in first. The money shows up later. How many of you guys have a 9-to-5 job? right? How many of you guys agree they don't pay you first and then you go to 9 to 5, right or wrong? Mr. Mike Major literally said, hey, you got to show up first, money comes after. And guess what? You literally have the ability to be like Mr. Major. I don't know if you saw him early on. He's on a yacht right now, an 80-foot yacht, going around the coast of Florida and living his best life, meaning doesn't have to worry about anything. How many of you guys like to not have to worry about nothing? Right? Not having to worry how mortgage is going to pay, not having to worry, like, meaning that's where he's at. He's on an 85-foot yacht. He brought his friends, he brought everybody, and he's having the time of his life and doing Zoom calls. That's called senior vice president lifestyle. Does that make sense? Now, could we agree he had to make sacrifices along the way to senior vice president? In order to be successful, could we agree sacrifices are necessary? Yes or no? Right? You got to make sacrifices. Now, here's the thing I'll tell you guys. I'm going to leave you off with this. The day you stop making excuses is the day your team stop making excuses. There's nobody on Nelly's team right now that can say, I can't come. Nelly would be like, are you kidding me right now? I had surgery. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the conversation now is like, you can't come for what? Like, I had surgery. The surgeon said I could not fall asleep in a red-eye flight from California to Philadelphia. That's not like an hour flight. Can we agree? It's not an hour flight. Yes or no? That is a 5-hour hike, red-eye flight. And the surgeon said, you cannot fall asleep on that high of an altitude. So you got to walk the aisle every hour on a red-eye. And she showed up. So here's the thing, guys, think about that for a second. She showed up in the morning. And now is it safe to say why she's successful? Like, it's at the end of the day you stop making excuses is the day your team stop making excuses. Guys, success is on the other side of excuses. I don't know if you guys know that. Success is on the other side of excuses. I'm going to tell you this right now. You are where you are because of the excuses you've made in your life. I should have done this. And then the shoulda, woulda, coulda's come. Does that make sense? The shoulda, woulda, coulda's come. And I'm going to tell you how it is because I like how Mike Major just tells me how it is. He literally told me when I said I couldn't go to my event, he goes, lose my number. That was a conversation when I was like, all right, I ain't losing the Mike's number. I'm going there. And thank God I got on a plane. And then guess what? The next event, I was a regional director and it blew up for me. Guys, the things you don't want to do are the things you got to do. You're comfortable where you are right now. Get uncomfortable. Figure it out. It will work out. Don't worry about the how-to. It will work out. Fair enough? So guys, scan that code. Get yourself pre-registered. It's only $159. Don't worry about hotels. It'll work itself out. I promise you put a text message together. Guess what? RVPs put text messages together all the time. Hey, lady looking for a room. You got a room? Like, it'll work itself out. I promise you. It'll work itself out. Don't worry about the how-to. Just get there. Everything else will work itself out. It always does. And I promise you, we're not going to let you sleep on the streets. We'll figure out a room. We'll figure something out. I promise you, we'll figure something out. My first convention, I slept with 8 people. 8 people in a room. You know where I slept? On the floor. I was like, I ain't sharing a bed with no man. I'm going right on the floor. That's literally what's going on. Does that make sense? Nope. Give me the floor. I'm good. But guess what? That's what it took. But today, it's a lot different story 8 years later. Yes or no? Guys, you're all gonna have all excuses, but here's the thing: all excuses are equal. All excuses are equal. Everybody has an excuse. Job excuse, kids excuse, they're all equal. But let me tell you something. Don't buy it and watch what happens 90 days after the event. Mark my words, watch what happens 90 days after. So scan that QR code. I appreciate you guys being on the call here today. Excited for you guys. And guys, with that being said, I will see you guys in Baltimore. Have a great end of the month, everybody. Take care, everybody.